What's good, people? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back. It's RFG. I'm back at it today. I took about 4 or 5 days off, handled some business, but I am back at it. And with this video, my information is going to be stronger than ever. So like I said, you know what I'm saying? Please stay with me during this lecture. This is going to be one of the longer lectures, and listen very carefully to what's stated, okay? Because this is going to put holes in many people's paradigms, okay? And this is going to be some very, very profound information. That's all I can say. So I'm going to get straight to it, straight to the point. Of course, everybody knows there's a difference between electric energy and magnetic energy, okay? And electric and magnetic energy play a very key role in reproduction with creatures in this third dimension, okay? So what I'm going to tell you guys today is there was a time when only women existed on this earth. And it is when women, okay, were ruling on this earth, when this earth was in something called seventh density. Seventh density, this earth, okay, had nothing but women inhabiting it, and the women produced asexually through a process called parthenogenesis, okay? Called parthenogenesis, okay? It's not a joke, it's not a game. These women had sperm in their bone marrow, and it wasn't like the male sperm today. It was a different kind of sperm, and this sperm went from the bone marrow in their spine, okay, and went straight to their ovaries, okay, to produce the egg, to fertilize the egg, okay? And I'm going to be showing and proving today, okay? So like I said, you know what I'm saying, pay very close attention to what's stated, okay? So the male sperm today is what's known as the spark, okay? It's the spark. The male sperm is needed to spark the female egg, to spark life in the female egg, okay? Because the female already has the microscopic fetus dwelling inside of her egg, okay? The life force is already inhabiting inside of the female's egg in her womb. All the male sperm is needed for, okay? The sperm is the spark, is the electric spark. El, the prefix for electric is El, and L is the masculine. So when you talk about being an electric spark, the sperm being an electric spark, okay, that's telling you that the male sperm is used for that masculine energy, okay, that has to do with the electric spark, okay? And you can get none of this electric spark in seventh density. You cannot get this spark in seventh density, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So when this paradigm we're in right now, when this earth was in seventh density, electricity did not exist there, okay? That electric force does not exist there because that electric force is not needed. It is not needed, okay? And like I said, I'm going to be blowing a lot of people's minds and shattering a lot of people's paradigms with this information. So stay tuned and listen very carefully, okay? So like I said, we see the electric energy right here. Sperm, a man's sperm, is basically the electric spark, okay, that is used to give life to a woman's egg, okay? Right here, we have the other force, okay, which is known as the magnetic force in the universe, okay? Now, what's interesting is in this third dimensional paradigm, we have magnetic poles that can be positive or negative, Okay? We have magnetic poles in this universe that can be positive or negative, just like we have electric currents in this universe that can be positive or negative. Okay? See right here. Positive electric force, negative electric force. Okay? Right here is the definition of parthenogenesis. Okay? From the Greek word parthenos, which means virgin. Okay? Virgin creation. Parthenogenesis. Okay? So it says some vertebrates and invertebrates are capable of doing it. Nematodes, water fleas, okay, some scorpions, aphids, mites, bees, wasps, vertebrates such as fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. Okay, and if you're not well researched in these subjects, you won't know the fact that humans have a piece of reptilian DNA in them. Okay. They have a piece of reptile/amphibian DNA lingering in them. Okay. That's why when we are born, we have extremely soft spots on the top of our heads. Okay. Extremely soft spots. And we literally have holes in our heads with the skin still on top of it before the skull closes completely inside of the skull of the fetus. Inside the head of the infant. Okay, when the infant is born, it basically has a blowhole, but the hole on top of the head, okay, it's not completely closed. Okay, because we were originally aquatic amphibious beings. Okay, so just like these certain lizards right here that are capable of parthenogenesis, okay, human women were capable of parthenogenesis tens and tens of thousands of years ago, maybe even millions of years ago. Okay, this took place. But this is how it all began, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it all began. This is how it all began. Okay, with women procreating asexually through parthenogenesis. Okay, so we're just gonna listen to what this video has to say about parthenogenesis. It's gonna blow a lot of people away, and I want people to know and understand that the Earth is getting closer and closer to the fifth dimension. So as the Earth gets closer and closer to the fifth dimension, okay, we are getting closer to a very, very strong magnetic field of the center of the galaxy, okay, which is going to strongly affect the magnetic field of the Earth, okay? And you're gonna see weaker. What's going to happen is you're going to see weaker electric forces. You're going to see weaker electric forces, and you're going to see stronger magnetic forces, okay? Because when you get closer to the fifth dimension, you're getting closer to what's known as Ma, what's known as Ma, what's known as Mu, what's known as the galactic mother, the galactic center, okay? The cosmic portal, the cosmic vagina, the cosmic canal, okay, to get to and from the fifth dimension. To go from the third to the fifth dimension, you got to go through that cosmic portal, okay, known as Ma, known as Mu. And when that happens, the electric force on the Earth is going to get really weak. It's going to get weak because electricity is mostly powered by masculine energy, okay? It's a masculine force. Magnetism is mostly a feminine force, okay? Prefix for magnetism, M-A, Ma, okay? Prefix for electric force is El, E-L, okay? Which is lower, which deals with the lower realms, with the lower third dimension. Saturn is L, and L turned upside down in this third dimension. So electricity is a Saturnian energy. That Saturnian energy is going to get very, very weak as the Earth keeps in motion, keeps moving towards this fifth dimensional portal known as the galactic center. Okay? So we're going to listen to what they have to say about parthenogenesis.
In this video, I will attempt to explain how one animal can reproduce without a mate and a theory as to why they do this. The definition of parthenogenesis is reproduction from an ovum without fertilization, especially as a normal process in some invertebrates and lower plants. What may surprise you is that it has now been seen in vertebrates. This is animals with backbones, and these include snakes, fish, and quite famously, Komodo dragons. I say quite famously as 2 female Komodo dragons in 2 separate English zoos both produced fertilized eggs without mating in the same year as each other. Back in 2006, it was reported that a Komodo dragon named Flora from Chester Zoo had laid 11 eggs, even though she had never been near a male, let alone bred with a male in her life. 3 of the eggs died off, but these were used to test genetics of the eggs, whilst the other 8 were developing. These offspring weren't exactly clones, but their genetic makeup derived from just the female Komodo dragon, Flora. It was once thought this process of parthenogenesis was an unusual, rare occurrence, but it seems that more and more cases are being discovered. As my channel is mainly to do with leopard geckos, I would like to point out that it is yet to be seen in leopard geckos. However, since Gizmo has laid an egg without ever coming into contact with a male, and she looks set to lay another, I always check that the eggs are duds before I throw them out, just on the off chance that they may be fertile. There are a few theories as to why parthenogenesis happens, and one that seems most likely is that it's an evolutionary trait that has been passed down through the generations, a trait that in some ways saved a species from dying out.
So like I was saying, parthenogenesis is a process where women of certain species on the planet are able to reproduce asexually, and this is how life basically started out on this earth, okay, millions and millions of years ago, okay? And it's really mind-boggling, you see what I'm saying, to understand this knowledge, because we've been going through years and years of something called a patriarchal government system. The patriarchal government system officially, okay, took place anywhere from 6,000 to 13,000 years ago. Okay, it has been proven through science, biology, and archaeological evidence that all human origins started out as 2 normal X chromosomes. Okay, 2 large normal X chromosomes basically produce a female human, and female humans, that makes female humans basic humans on the planet. Okay, when you look at a Y chromosome, you're looking at a chromosome that is not the shape of a Y. Okay, you're looking at a smaller chromosome because it's missing DNA. It's missing pieces of DNA. Okay, so basically what that proves is that females are naturally more in tune with nature, and that is why this society, this backward society, they make it their duty to attack the psyche of women first. You see what I'm saying? Because they know firsthand that the woman is the one with the true connection to the earth and the cosmos, just by looking, okay, at the amount of DNA that is placed in the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. So I'm going to show you guys this video of this individual explaining the differences between the X and Y chromosomes, but this guy is going to stick a foot in his own ass, people. So just listen up and pay attention.
Is what leads a developing organism down the road to manhood. But this potent little man-maker has had a troubled past. Early on in its evolutionary history, it was part of a regular pair of chromosomes. But due to some random chopping and changing of the genetic code, it stopped being able to pair up properly, to recombine, with its partner, the X. Unable to properly exchange genes, the Y chromosome shriveled to a fraction of its former self. Now only 3% of its original genes remain. Two separate teams now publish results offering the most detailed accounts of the Y's evolution. Jeff Marsh, owner of a shriveled Y, has more.
The Y chromosome has seriously shriveled since it was the identical partner of the X. But of the genes that did survive, it's now clear that this genetic material has remained remarkably stable for the last 25 million years. These two papers to come out of Nature this week offer up new perspectives about the Y chromosome's origins and its role in mammals today. By comparing Y chromosomes from all the major lineages of mammals, that is, the placentals like us, to the Australian marsupials, to those strange egg-laying mammals, the so-called monotremes, we now see that this transition from a non-sex chromosome to the Y chromosomes of all mammals today may not be such a simple story. Whilst the Y chromosome obviously does still play an important role in making males, certain genes that have stuck around seem to perform functions unrelated to sex in all tissues throughout a male's life. I spoke with authors from both papers, Daniel Bellot at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US and Henrik Caseman from the University of Lausanne, Switzerland. To kick things off, I asked Daniel why the Y chromosome has been so hard to study compared to the other chromosomes.
The Y chromosome has a lot of large, highly identical duplications. Some of them are like palindromes. So like Madam I Madam is a palindrome, right? But these are palindromes in DNA bases instead of letters. When you sequence a genome, you're trying to put together tiny fragments and looking at the overlaps. If you have something that's not identical, you actually don't know which arm of the palindrome it comes from. That means you need to use larger fragments. And the trend in genome sequencing is to be using smaller and smaller fragments. So that's actually made Ys harder to assemble in the rest of the genome.
Henrik Caseman and his group worked around these tricky problems of sequencing the Y using RNA as well as DNA. This allowed them to take a faster survey of a wider group of mammals in order to settle some questions about the Y chromosome's origins.
It was thought for a long time that the human Y chromosome stemmed from an ancestral set of autosomes, and that the sex chromosome origination event, which led to the differentiation of the Y chromosome, occurred in the ancestor common to all mammals. Now, we really refined this picture substantially in the sense
They said it happened to an ancestor that's common to all mammals, including humans. So there had to have been an asexual ancestor of all humans, okay, that decided to produce the first male deities on this planet.
We find two independent origins of sex chromosomes, including the respective Y chromosomes, in the ancestor of marsupials and placental mammals on the one hand, and the monotremes on the other hand. And we find that actually these two sex chromosome systems emerged independently, almost in parallel. So this is quite nice, and it basically means that there was no turnover of, let's say, an ancestral monotreme-like sex chromosome system into the ones we find in humans today. And it also interestingly raises the question of what was the sex chromosome system in the ancestor of all mammals.
No one disputes that the Y chromosome has lost most of its genes since its origination and now looks very different to its old partner, the X chromosome. But what both these papers seem to be saying is that the small percent that managed to cling on and escape this gauntlet of decay now seem to have been stable for a very long time. So back to Daniel. Apart from those involved in sex determination, what are these surviving genes responsible for?
They look like they're regulating things like transcription, making new RNAs, and translation, turning those RNAs into protein across many cell types and tissues in the body. So they're ubiquitous, they're in every stage of life and every cell, and because they have such a sort of important regulatory role, all of these XY gene pairs seem to be very dosage sensitive.
So for all those genes that were lost on the Y chromosome, the X chromosome has evolved dosage compensation turn off the second copy. But there are some genes that need two working copies, and it's these dosage-sensitive genes that the males can't afford to lose from the Y.
It looks like actually having a second sex chromosome, whether it's an X or a Y, is actually essential for viability. And we think what the Y is doing is actually holding on to those last few genes that ensure male viability, so that the Y is really sort of streamlined, that it's a minimal second sex chromosome.
And as always when two papers come out at the same time, it's reassuring to hear that they came to the same conclusions.
Yes, so we agree with these results, and we actually support them in great detail because we see that this preferential preservation of these dosage-sensitive regulatory genes occurred 3 times independently in the 3 sex chromosome systems that we could study with our data.
So it seems that both these papers have changed our opinions about the role of the Y chromosome. Finally, here's Henrik again.
Previously, people thought that the Y chromosome was primarily important for functions that are specific to males, so male-specific tissues, basically the testes. Now it's clear that these genes are not specific to males in the sense that they have male-specific functions, just important for functions throughout the body. So it's instead of, as in females, where they have 2 X copies of these genes, males just have an X and a Y, but the Y then doesn't probably substantially different function from the X copy.
That was Henrik Caseman, and before him, Daniel Bellot talking.
So that concludes that video. They basically put their foot in their own ass with the information they just relayed, because one of those individuals stated that the Y chromosome proves, okay, that origin has to go back to an asexual female, okay, creator. Okay, that's what that individual stated. Okay, you get the Y from the X. The X shrinks. You see what I'm saying? The X shrinks, loses DNA, and then you get this Y. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't start out small and get bigger. It starts out as the X, okay? And then it has to lose a piece of DNA to get your Y, okay? Coming out of their own mouth, okay? So they're telling you right there that humans used to produce asexually until they said a common ancestor, okay, hint, hint, basically spliced human DNA, okay, and implemented this Y chromosome in human genetics, okay, to produce the male, okay, and the male is supposed to be the protector, the provider, okay, for the female on the planet, okay, and there's been a huge paradigm shift on Earth, and religion is basically the #1 cause of that paradigm shift from a matriarchal system to a patriarchal system in the government. You see, and it's really sad. It's really sad that a lot of people don't understand this information. Okay, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at how small this Y chromosome is. Okay, these are real pictures showing the size comparison of a X chromosome to a Y chromosome. Look at all that missing DNA, people. Look at all of that missing DNA. And guess what? If this Y chromosome keeps shrinking after generations, okay, after certain generations, males won't exist on this earth. You heard me. Males will not exist on this earth, okay? And by the size of this, if this is recent, it could be in between the next 500 and 1,000 years. Okay, this Y chromosome will not exist anymore, people. And what this is this is universal karma. This is universal karma, okay? And I'm going to touch on that right with the next picture, okay? because this earth was given into the hands of the woman first, and the woman did something that went against the Creator's will. Okay, the woman did something against the creators of humans on the earth. The woman did something against their will. Okay, because we have multiple creators known as the Elohims. Okay, and there was a female deity known as Hathor. Okay, that basically fell from grace into this third dimensional paradigm, and that deity is known as Lucifer. Okay, to the Greeks and the quote-unquote Christians, they know the deity is Lucifer, but the Kemetic individuals refer to that deity as Hathor. Okay, that was a female deity that basically caused females to lose power, caused the female sex to lose power over the earth. And when Hathor fell, that's when the power was given to the man. Okay, was given to the male figures around the world. Okay, these right here are the Amazonian goddesses. Okay, these are Amazonian goddesses. Okay, and they basically refer to them as their only mythological creatures, but I'm here to tell you they are very, very real. Very real. Okay, this is Nubia. Okay, Wonder Woman's quote-unquote black sister. And if you study Wonder Woman, the comic book Wonder Woman, she was an Amazonian goddess. Okay, so what is the etymology of the word Amazon? The etymology of the word Amazon means female warrior. So that basically shows you that the people who named the Amazon jungle, okay, they had to have discovered remains of female bones, of female warriors there. Okay? It's not a game, people. They put the truth in the comic books to make people think that it's not real. Okay, then it shows after the Spaniards took over South America, after the Spaniards took over the Incan Empire, okay, the Incan Empire became much more of a patriarchal system. Okay, the women had much less power after they got taken over by the Spaniard conquistadors. Okay, right here we have a list of Japanese queens, of Japanese empresses, okay, that had complete control over the Japanese empire, okay, for thousands of years. Okay, long list of female rulers over there in Japan, because Japan took on the ways and the customs of the original people inhabiting Kemet. Okay, Japan took on the ways of the original empire in Kemet. Okay, it all tied back to a matriarchal system. Right here, we have the queen that was ruling in Hawaii. Okay, the queen that was ruling in Hawaii before Hawaii was taken over by the United States and pillaged, okay, raped and robbed, just like they did everywhere else. But it goes to show you that even on these islands, they all had a queen. Okay, Hawaii, I'm pretty sure New Zealand was the same way. Fiji and Samoa, okay, Australia, I'm pretty damn sure all of those islands in the Pacific, they were all the same. Okay, this is Queen Liliuokalani, Queen of Hawaii. Okay, this photo was taken in 1898, couple of decades before they got taken over by United States imperialists, because that's really what they are. Okay, right here, this is a pendant showing the black queen known as Europa. Okay, this queen was so powerful that the whole continent of Europe was named after her. Okay, when the Moors came into Europe, they named that landmass after the female deity that they paid homage to, which was the Queen Europa. Okay? Right here. Even in Madagascar, even on the island of Madagascar, we have the Queen Rana Valona the First, Queen of Madagascar, reign of August 11th, 1828 to August 16th of 1861. Okay, passed away August 12th, 1820. No, passed away August 16th, 1861. Yep. And they put her to death because she was kicking Christians off of her island. Okay? She didn't want Christian imperialism taking over her island because she understood what was taking place in other locations around the world at the time. And she didn't want her land to be invaded and pillaged, you see what I'm saying, by Christian European imperial forces. And she was deemed evil by the European invaders. Okay? It's not a game, people. This world was under a matriarchal system, and Christianity had a very big hand, okay, and taking away the feminine control of this planet, okay, basically doing away with the matriarchal system over this earth. Okay, that has to do with the Christian homosexual energy. So this right here was the strongest queen that Madagascar ever had. And the Europeans, okay, basically did away with that. This right here is the Queen Califia that was ruling, okay, in, of course, California, in an island off the coast of California, and in California itself. But it's funny, this article right here is calling her mythical, okay? They're calling Queen Califia mythical. So let's read what they have to say here. Califia is a fictional warrior queen who ruled over a kingdom of black women living on a mythical island of California. The character of Queen Califia was created by Spanish writer Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo, who first introduced her in his popular novel entitled Los Siergas de Esplandian, written around 1500. So I want to know this. If the Spaniards were extremely racist and were going out of their way to murder and take the land and resources from melanated people, why in the hell would a Spanish conquistador, like right out of the blue, what would make them want to create a novel and to create a mythological story about a melanated queen, paying homage to a melanated queen? Why would a racist conquistador care so much about black rulership over the earth to write a whole novel, okay, paying homage to this melanated queen? Why would this individual make this up out of the blue? Does that make any logical sense? It doesn't to me. It does not to me. But hey, like I said, what do I know? Like I said, all of these artifacts were found in Southern and Northern California. There were There were photos taken of mummies found in Southern California that showed giants, that showed melanated giants inhabiting the land of California. And those photos were taken in the 1800s as well. Okay, right here, they even have a carving of Queen Califia. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, this information right here is directly linked with the Moors in America. Okay, you can look at her facial structure. Why would the Spanish conquistadors go out of their way, you see what I'm saying, to make up something that's a lie? It doesn't even make any sense. And if you hate, quote unquote, black people, why would you make it your duty to put it in your novel, okay, that they were ruling in California? That's contradictory. You see what I'm saying? They always stick a foot in their own ass. They always do that. See, even in India, even in the land of India, what do the East Indians pay homage to in Hinduism? It goes back to Krishna. Krishna, the female Christ. Krishna, a female deity. Okay? A female deity. Okay? Because when you look at the original rulership in ancient India, okay, they had a queen as well. They had a system of queens as well. It's not a joke. So this man right here, King James, you Hebrew Israelites love King James, but Mr. King James, even though he was a melanated man, he was a sellout to his own people. He was a homosexual, and he murdered his own mother, and he wrote books on demonology. Go look it up. This individual, King James, single-handedly played the biggest role in taking females off of the throne across the world and destroying the matriarchal system across the world. Okay? To get the energy paradigm turned upside down on this earth that we live on. We can thank King James for that. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from the Hebrew Israelites, but guess what? I have the Hebrew Israelites nailing the coffin right here. Mr. King James was ruling in Great Britain, okay, in the early 1600s, late 1500s, early 1600s, correct? So if I'm not mistaken, during that same time period, his own people were being hung, tortured, beaten, set on fire, and put to death all across the United States. Okay? King James people, okay, the black people in America, the Moors, the descendants of the Moors, were being hung, castrated, beaten, tortured, and set on fire all across the United States. So Hebrew Israelites, you're basically saying that King James was a black man. So what in the fuck was King James doing to help the black people in America during that time? Because if you don't know, Britain, King James was ruling in Britain. So Britain owned the United States at that time. The United States was nothing but a British colony at that time. The United States was nothing but a British colony in the late 1500s, early 1600s, ladies and gentlemen. So that means Mr. King James could have easily intervened, stepped in, and said, you know what? I've about had it with the way you Caucasoids are treating my people in the United States, in the land of the 13 colonies. I don't like it. I don't approve of it. But what did he do? He didn't do that. He stood on his fucking throne. He watched his people, okay, get put to death by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And King James did absolutely goddamn nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero, zilch. Okay? This man also took part in murdering, pillaging villages of indigenous people, okay, the same people who were his relatives. He basically set in motion certain mini crusades that would basically pillage villages of indigenous people and kill them and murder them, okay, just for healing themselves holistically. This guy considered that witchcraft, okay? He called that witchcraft, and he called that paganism, okay? So he basically set the doctrine, if indigenous people heal themselves with holistic herbs, okay, and they connect themselves to their ancestors and they communicate with their ancestors on other planets, oh, that's paganism. That's paganism. People, this is the nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin, period. Okay? Because Mr. King James, while he was killing holistic doctors, okay, sorcerers who were holistic doctors, and promoting this homosexual agenda that was put in the Bible, okay, by promoting the homosexual trinity, the male father, the male creator, the male Holy Ghost, and the male son, homosexual energy. He was spreading that, but he was also writing books on demonology, okay? King James wrote books on how to summon demons from inner earth. Let me repeat. King James wrote books on how to summon demons from inner earth, okay? So just keep that in mind, Hebrew Israelites. And this same guy that I just showed you, King James, okay, he took part in taking most of the queens that were ruling in these islands, okay, that were ruling around the world. This homosexual King James put those queens to death, okay? He knocked the queens off of their throne. Mr. King James, he did the same thing that the original saints did, okay, when Kemet fell. When Kemet fell, you had these black saints who were appointed to work for the Catholic Pope and the Catholic Church and the Vatican. When the Vatican caused Kemet to fall, the Vatican appointed certain leaders in the hierarchy, okay? Certain leaders, okay, that would do their bidding. And these leaders were called saints, okay? And the first saints were melanated. They were, quote unquote, black. And these saints took a heavy hand in giving all of that Kemetic information to the Vatican, okay? It was the black men. It was the saints, okay, that took part in taking the melanated queens off of their throne, okay? Basically shifting the paradigm of the planet over from a matriarchy, okay, and sending that over to a patriarchy, okay? The saints, the melanated saints, took part in turning the earth from a matriarchal system to a patriarchal system, okay? That was done by the melanated saints, okay? The quote-unquote black men who were really, really large figures in the Catholic Church at that time. And I guess you can call them sellouts, okay? We have them today. We have them still, thriving, making YouTube videos and, preaching knowledge today. But they're basically playing the same role as these Kemetic saints that were sellouts to their own people and gave all the intricate secret knowledge from Kemet. They gave that to the Roman Catholic Vatican, okay? The beast on the earth, the goddamn Jesuit Zionist warlocks, okay? It couldn't have happened without our own people's intervention. Okay, there had to have been some kind of sellouts that took part in the melanated woman's fall from grace. And this right here is case in point why the universal karma is now backfiring on the male domination over the earth. Okay, the male domination over the earth is at an end. It is at an end, ladies and gentlemen, because if you do your research, men are outnumbered on the earth anywhere from 15 to 20 to 1. Males are outnumbered on this earth right now going into 2018. We are outnumbered 15 to 20 to 1. Why is that? That is because the Y chromosome is getting smaller and smaller as the generations go by. And that is, okay, karmic debt. That is karmic debt, okay, for what King James and other male rulers have done to take the melanated woman off of their throne, because the males were supposed to be protectors and providers and warriors to protect their queens inside of their pyramids, just like the ants. Ladies and gentlemen, the Moor civilization was no different. Our ancestors did the same thing on every single planet that they inhabited throughout the galaxy, okay? So when the Moors went against the universal mother, went against the feminine energy on the earth, and embraced the homosexuality, the homosexual energy of Christianity and Catholicism and Islam. Oh yeah, and Islam is one of them too. Don't get it twisted. Okay? When they took up all of those bullshit Catholic religions, they inherited that homosexual doctrine, that homosexual paradigm, that homosexual energy. Okay? And the Muslims have it too, because that God that you worship, known as Allah, really came from a female deity known as Allat. And now I see these Muslims in the Middle East treating their women like dogs. Well, God damn it, that's why your country is being bombed, and the resources are being pillaged and taken away from you, and your sons are being blown up into fucking smithereens, and your kids are being born fucking dead. And you see what I'm saying? You have to worry about your house and your business being bombed, and your resources being fucking taken away, and your country being taken over because you went against the universal female divine feminine energy. You Muslims went against that shit, okay? Because you got sucked in to the Vatican fucking Jesuit warlock bullshit doctrine of religion, okay? So that goes for the Muslims, okay, as well as the fucking Christians and the Jews, okay? Anybody who got sucked into the major religions that are owned and ran by the Vatican, okay, you took part in taking the melanated woman off of her throne, okay? Because all these religions promote male domination over the earth. So these religions actually put a curse on most men on the planet. And this is a very, very real thing, people. Very real thing. Like I said, look at that size of the Y chromosome. It's shrinking and shrinking and shrinking as the generations go by. So, like I said, if we don't get back to how we once were, males, I'm speaking to every single one of you, no matter what race, we are doomed. If we don't get back to how it once was on this earth, we are doomed. Plain and simple. Okay? It's not a game, and it's not a joke. This will, I'm telling you, it'll fuck around and be a female ran planet again. It'll be all, but this time it'll be all females, and they'll be reproducing asexually just like they started out. Okay? Because when you think about it, major warfare never took place on Earth until what? Until it became male dominated. Until it became male dominated. Okay? Like I said, we could thank these fucking religious leaders for spreading their bullshit doctrine, their demonic energy of homosexual energy and male domination over the earth. Like Mr. fucking King James, Mr. Sellout, who hated his own people, who was a homosexual and who murdered his own mother. Okay? And yeah, we can thank him, people like him, for taking the melanated women off of their throne all over the world. Okay? Because this was a global plan. This was a global plan by the Zionist Jew warlocks. And they used melanated men, okay, as their fucking pawns, and their guinea pigs, okay, to do their fucking bidding. And, you know, the karma is going to be, you know, the Y chromosome just shrinking till it doesn't fucking exist anymore. Okay? And like I said, it's not a game, people. It's not a game. We're going to have to get back to balance. We're going to have to get back to a balanced society, a balanced civilization. Okay? Where the woman is going to have to be back on her throne, and we're going to have to start building pyramids again. Okay? We're going to have to start building more. We're going to have to start mummifying our dead, because they're harvesting the goddamn organs from the graveyards. And the bodies from the graveyards. That's why the fucking graveyards have never expanded, and the graveyards were implemented right after Egypt fell. Okay? Because they wanted to do away with mummification. So goddamn it, we're going to start mummifying our dead again. Okay? We're going to take, I'm telling you, we're going to take this earth back to where it has to be, as far as a spiritual and a conscious state is concerned. Okay? Because, like I said, this religious doctrine started the warfare on the earth. Okay? So we have warfare on the earth. We have starvation on the earth. We have confusion on the earth. We have family units that hate each other on the earth. We have polluted oceans on the earth. We have holes in the ozone on the earth. We have major pollution in the airs on the earth. We have polluted waters on the land on the earth. And we can thank all of this, okay, because of a male-dominated society, okay? And we can thank that to the pushing of religion by force, okay? Bullshit religion, by the way. Okay, so that's really all I had to say on that topic. This is going to be a little bit off subject, but it's mind-blowing nonetheless. Our ancestors were cosmic travelers, okay? And they are on their way back. They are on their way back here to this earth that we live on. So what the government's doing now with, you know, all this warfare and destruction on the earth and all this chaos, they're trying to destroy this earth before the Elohims come back to it. But they don't know it's going to be too late for them. The Elohims are going to get here before they can destroy it. And the Zionist Jews their paradigm will be destroyed. Okay? And I'm going to prove it. The Olmecs and the Aztecs, the Olmecs and the Mayans, the Olmecs and the Mayan civilization, we can find their pyramids. We can find their statues. We can find their hieroglyphics. But we cannot find not one bone structure, not one bone remains, not one mummy found of any individual that was Mayan, of Mayan lineage, okay, of the Mayan society or of the Olmec society. Let me repeat. We can find no archaeological evidence of Olmec, anybody from the Olmec civilization or the Mayan civilization, okay, that basically proves that they lived on this planet. But we can prove that they existed because of their statues, because of what's written about them in archives, and because of their pyramids, and because of what's shown on their hieroglyphic walls. But we just don't have their bones and what was remaining from their actual bodies. And what I'm here to tell you is we can't find that because the Olmec and the Mayans, okay, are directly related to the Moors, okay, that civilized this planet. And the Olmec and the Mayans were capable of time travel and space flight and basically the ability to travel the cosmos, okay? And this right here proves it all, okay? This hieroglyphic right here, this is the god Osiris, okay? When you say Osiris, you're saying the gods that came from the Orion and the Sirius star constellation, the heavily melanated, extremely tall gods. Right here you see Osiris with the stars. See what I'm saying? Right by him. And then you have the ship. And then you see the ship. This is a ship. This is a sea ship. He's traveling through the celestial seas. Osiris is traveling through the celestial seas, okay? Going through the cosmos, entering a wormhole, okay? To go to another paradigm, another space, another point in space and time, okay? That's where he's going. That's where Osiris is going. But Osiris, okay, and his relatives, which are our ancestors, they're going to be returning with the second son, which is known as Nibiru, really soon, okay? There was an article that was sent to me that basically showed 3 sun-like objects over the horizon in Japan not too long ago, okay? So the Elohims and the Anunnaki, they are on their way back, because this hieroglyphic proves that our ancestors, okay, were capable of entering wormholes, okay, that would send them to another location in the galaxy. Okay, it's not a joke and it's not a game. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Mayans and the Olmec did. The Mayans and the Olmec did exactly what the god Osiris did. Okay, he traveled through the cosmos, entering a wormhole, okay, which is a vagina portal of the universe, a black hole, a wormhole. That's what it is. That's what the Mayans and the Olmecs did. The Mayans and the Olmecs, their remains cannot be found because they went through a fucking wormhole. And I'm going to prove it by showing a commercial that was shown before Super Bowl 46 played out. It was either before Super Bowl 46 or 47. Can't remember which one, but I'm going to show it. Okay? And it's basically going to show you that even the fucking elites know that the Mayans, okay, that the Mayans, they knew that the Mayans and the Olmec left this earth through a wormhole, through a stargate. Okay, that's why they can't find their fucking remains. This commercial proves that. This was shown between Super Bowl 46 and 47. There we go right there. There goes the Mayan civilization. There goes the Mayan civilization. Okay, being able to move objects through, to and from, okay, certain places in the cosmos through wormholes. Right here, you see the pyramids. You see the wormhole at the top of the pyramid. Okay, which basically shows and proves that there are stargates above these major pyramid sites, these major pyramid locations. There are stargates above them, okay? So right there, it shows in plain sight that these pyramids are used, okay, for cosmic travel, okay? I just stated that, and that has to be fact, because you cannot find me any bones, any remains, any mummies, any sarcophagi of the ancient Mayans or Olmec civilizations, any of their bodies. They left, okay? They were cosmic travelers that left to certain points in the galaxy, okay? And they got there by entering fucking wormholes, stargates, electromagnetic vortexes, okay? So right here, we can show that to you again. There goes the electromagnetic vortex opening. An object from a whole nother universe comes through. You see? And that was shown in a goddamn Kia commercial before a goddamn Super Bowl. You see? And this is on ladies and gentlemen, this is on hieroglyphic walls. You see? That's what our ancestors did. And I'm about to blow everybody's mind right now. When they come back, when our ancestors come back on Ra, on the star known as Ra, which is Nibiru, okay, the second sun, this paradigm is going to be destroyed, and they are going to take notice that the individuals with RH monkey DNA in them, they are ruling over their people, okay? The Elohim are going to notice that the individuals with RH monkey DNA are ruling the planet now. They had a movie called Planet of the Apes where these humans went through what? A wormhole, and when they came back to Earth, the individuals with RH monkey DNA were ruling over the humans. You see? You see? They're playing out reality. The Zionist Jews are playing out reality in the fucking movies, okay? So right here, when the Mayans and the Olmecs come back, they are going to see that the individuals with RH monkey DNA in them are ruling over the melanated people of the earth, okay? That's what they're going to take note of. This is why they made the fucking movie Planet of the Apes, okay? The humans went through a fucking wormhole, and when they came back to Earth, Earth was ruled by the fucking apes, the people with RH monkey DNA in them, okay? When they come back from that fucking wormhole, okay? Right here, shown in the fucking Kemetic walls. This is why the remains of the Olmecs and the Mayans cannot be found, because they are on their way back on the mothership, okay, orbiting Nibiru as we speak. All of the churches need to be burned down. The public education school system need to be burned down. The hospitals and the pharmaceutical drug stores, that whole industry, all of those buildings, they need to be burned down, people, because we have to start rebuilding society. Plain and simple. Plain and goddamn simple. Me and Philip Sebi are going to get in motion a petition, okay, to take certain entities in the United States to the Supreme Court and hold them accountable for spraying chemtrails over our skies every goddamn day, okay? And like I said, I'm not playing. This is not a game. This is not a joke. Once again, me and Philip Sebi are getting together a petition, okay, from individuals 18 and up that basically list the effects that they have on an everyday basis that are caused by the chemtrails. And we are going to take that to the Supreme Court, and we're going to hold these motherfuckers accountable for what they're spraying over our heads every goddamn day with these chemtrails, okay? We're going to have the evidence necessary to take these bastards to court, okay? Because like I said, I back up my words with actions. I'm about action, not just these words, okay? That's what this YouTube channel is all about, okay? Basically, influencing people to want to take action, okay? So that about sums this video up. I appreciate everyone who supports RFG and Atlantean movement. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. I appreciate all the love. We're all in this together, and we're all going to ascend together, okay? So once again, It's the Chosen One, and I'm out.